Ah, Nevers, a town right in the middle of France. No sea access whatsoever, but delicious food, fantastic wine, great weather, everything you want, on the riverbank with a beautiful cathedral behind it. Our story begins in this ducal palace. Up close, it's a nice, lovely medieval building. Hi, my name is Alex. In this video, we're starting off as a two-province minor nation called Nevers, or Nevers. I've chosen this nation for two reasons. One, this country has an achievement called Nevers and Nevers, where you need to own all French cores while staying as Nevers. You cannot change tax. Two, we are going to form one of the most powerful nations in this game, France. Now, forming France as Nevers gives us two unique advantages. Advantage number one, it's simply a more exciting start with different sorts of adventures than the usual French early game. And second, it gives us a powerful government reform called Burgundian state. The first order of business as Nevers is to secure support for our independence from two or three powerful allies, in my case England and Austria. As you can see, I'm doing two specific things to secure this independence. Thing number one is I am putting the privilege of religious diplomats, which gives me diplomatic reputation and better relations with other Catholics, and there we go, Austria is done. And second, I am noticing that Savoy can support my independence also if I insult Burgundy. England is also done. Now there are only two things left to do before we declare our independence war. Thing number one, we will not need our starting army because it will be immediately destroyed by the Burgundians. And second thing, after loaning up, of course, a little bit of money will not hurt. We need to set a few provinces as our strategic interest so that the occupation hopefully goes to us during the war. After we get the occupation, we can do whatever we want with these provinces. We can assign them to Austria or England, whatever. And there we go, the war is declared. All our supporters have joined us and we have our first mission done, which gives us prestige, legitimacy and some claims on the Burgundian territory. Of course, we're now deep under instability, it will take us a long time to recover, but that's okay, we are now independent. What we do now is sit back, relax and let our allies do the work. We have almost 50,000 troops on our side against pretty much 40,000 troops on their side, so there is a chance we can win it. Things are going well, if I may say so myself. The armies of our allies are dominating the battlefield. Fantastic. And because England is fighting the war on our side, it did not attack France. The biggest battle of this war is about to happen, and we have nothing to do with it, which is a great feeling. And there we go. The biggest armies of our enemies are destroyed, and this is the time when we can start building up our own army to get what we need in this war. Burgundy is not a weak opponent, they can still recover from this defeat, so I'm not going to use my own manpower for this army. A couple of mercenary stacks will do very well for us. The Free Company, which we immediately send down south, and I believe it's a good idea to hire the Free Swiss Guard because they have a siege peep in the stats of their general. My priority here is to secure for myself the lands in the south, because there is no way Savoy is going to give me these occupations if they grab these lands. I really want to get for myself this fort in the east of Burgundy, in the land called Franche-Comté. Building my army to force limit gives me morale and land maintenance modifier -5 for 25 years. Excellent. And we can step up for the first time. Planning ahead, we will need to connect our lands, because currently there is Provence in between them. And as such, we will fabricate claims on the lands of Provence. While we are sieging Franche-Comté, we also need to get the province of Salon here in the south. Look at it. At this stage of the war, you can hardly see any enemy armies on the battlefield. We are winning, and winning decisively. We can also start piecing out some of the allies of Burgundy. For example, Brittany here. They will not give us any money, but they're out of the war, and we can step up again. One thing you can do planning for the future is to set up your merchants in a way that they create communities around yourself, so that you don't get served the coalition after you win this war. The fact is, if you grab any territory at all in your independence war, a lot of countries will not like you. And also, while we're still in this war, we can secure royal marriages with our two key allies, England and Austria. We don't need Savoy, because I'm hoping that Pope will excommunicate Savoy and we will be able to attack them. We are getting occupations, we're getting things sieged down, and we can peace out Palatinate. They will even give us some cash for our trouble. We now have only Burgundy and its minions facing against us. And as such, we can start planning our first real peace deal of this war. The thing is, the more land we take for ourselves, the less our allies will like us. And the more land we give each of them, the less the other one will like us. I'm about to take a risk here. I'm going to give the province of Franche-Comté to Austria. The reason why it's a risk is because I will need this province to get the Never Say Never achievement. So I may need to fight Austria again for this single province, if this achievement is what I'm going after. Because we have royal married England and Austria, we now can get this mission completed. Trustworthy allies, which gives us something very important, diplomatic reputation for 25 years. I will tell you why it's really important just a little bit later. This mission of high income, which gives us construction cost and construction time for 25 years, may be too early to take. Meanwhile, we continue fabricating claims on our friend Provence. England will lose only 3 trust if we make this peace deal, or 7 trust if we get one more province, and maybe it's something which we are fine to go with. No coalition to speak of if we take every piece of land that we want. Because England will be a very important ally in my future wars against France, I think I will keep them happy by giving them another province, Artois. And there we go, they're neutral. Austria will lose a little bit of trust, not too much. "100% war score, no coalition to speak of, and our first war against Burgundy is complete." Winning this war gives us 2 benefits. One, we get a general with 100 tradition that will be very helpful for our wars to come. And 2, we get permanent claims on Ile-de-France, which includes Paris and a bunch of other very rich lands in the heart of France. Remember how I said that the diplomatic reputation will become very useful to us? That's because we are starting the second stage of our campaign, which is claiming the title of the Holy Roman Emperor. Wait, hold on a second. The Pope has just excommunicated Savoy. Let's break this alliance. Ha, they are granting us. Very cute. Because I will be conquering a lot of lands within the HRE or right next to HRE, I would love to become the papal controller. So I will be investing a lot of points into it. Ah, look at it. Literally no one is voting for us at this stage. It's okay. We will get there. With all the stability losses we had, it will take us a long time to core our provinces. But it's okay. Let's set up our rivals. Of course, Burgundy is our first rival. We will go for Savoy, and we'll go for Provence. And now we have enough mana for our first core. Feels good. Since we have taken some rich lands in the south of Burgundy, our financial balance is already positive. And so we can pay back at least some of our burger loans. Not all of them, but look, we're already making almost a ducat. I really need to focus on my admin. Now, my 2 starting rulers are absolute idiots. A little bit of Florinomics here, when we pay our old loans to make space for new loans. And it's time to replace one of our mercenary companies with regular troops. Look, it's 1450 and we're making 2.7 ducats a month. Not bad. And now that the necessary cores are complete, we can finally join the HRE, which will make it much easier to be voted the emperor. All we need to do now is to ally at least 3 or 4 electors, get royal marriages with them, improve relations, all that jazz. Finally, I believe the moment is right to attack Provence to connect our territories. We have enough troops, we have enough allies. I believe this war is perfectly winnable at this stage. Come on allies, come and help me. The combined strength of Florentine and Provençal troops is too much for me. After 3 years of war, we have enough war score to take what we want. We can connect our lands and we can even take one extra province. It's great to take all these forts away from the enemy, but we don't really need them. So we're going to delete some. And now we concentrate and we core. We're slowly but steadily getting there with the electors. Look, one of the electors has disappeared. Must have been annexed in one of the previous wars where I wasn't paying attention. So the current Emperor Austria had to choose another elector. And just as we sit here in 1459, contemplating war declaration on France, we get elected the Emperor of the HRE. The second stage of our campaign is now complete. What does it mean, being elected the Holy Roman Emperor in our situation? Well, it means a couple of things. One, we now have very high chances of getting the Burgundian inheritance. Our friend Charles I here is 25 years old. When he passes, the Burgundian inheritance chain of events will trigger. And secondly, we are now a much more powerful nation. We can declare more wars, we can have more manpower, we can have more income. In fact, we're becoming so powerful that such strong countries as Castile may be willing to ally us now. Wait a second, isn't 1460 a little bit too late for the Shadow Kingdom event? Whatever. I'm not going to reign in the Italians, I'm not going to bother with this. I'm going to lose the imperial authority, I just don't care. What I do want instead is to royal marry and ally Castile to help me in my French wars. But looks like it's not going to happen just yet. I'm not going to wait around for it. With England, Austria, Mainz and Palatinate on my side, I have almost twice as many troops as France has. And so I believe I'm ready to declare on them. There we go. Because I decided not to release Champagne to be able to reconquer its cores cheaply at minimum aggressive expansion. This war is going to cost me in aggressive expansion quite a bit, since I'm going to take Paris and a couple of rich lands around it as well. So I'm going to prevent any possible coalitions forming by starting to improve relations with my neighbors. I desperately need my allies to come and help me. Look at the size of the enemy troops. After about a year of hostilities, we still have twice the amount of troops which our enemy has. So the war is going quite well so far. My absolute beast of a general, whom I got after winning the Independence War from a mission event, is wreaking havoc on enemy troops. Look, I can win a battle against a massive stack of French people while fighting on their fort. England has spent most of the war sitting on this fort up north in Scotland. What it means though is that finally I can peace out Scotland and get them out of my war. Who else can I peace out at this stage? Let's see. Wait, did I get it? No, not this time. Fine. I'm not a fan of dragging the wars out. We have enough war score to get the provinces we want without causing a massive coalition. We're getting this 3 and we're done. As always, concentrate and core. Our friend Charles I of Burgundy still has a while to live. Now, despite our best efforts to improve relations with our neighbors, a bit of a coalition is still forming. Nothing that we cannot handle at this stage, because, look, we can ally Castile finally. Completing this next mission brings us very close to forming France with a click of a button. The only thing we need to do is to ensure that the current France doesn't exist. Now, in 1466, we are finally doing quite well with our technologies. We can tech up, we can upgrade our troops, and we can take our first idea group. Because we are playing as the Holy Roman Emperor, a logical first choice for us would be diplomatic. Oh, this is not good. This cannot be good. Our ruler is almost 70, which means a very high chance of getting a talented and ambitious daughter event. But having a daughter will disqualify us from the Holy Roman Emperor elections, which means that we will not be getting the Burgundian inheritance. I now have choices to make. Do nothing and hope for the best, or introduce a heir. However, if I do introduce a heir, all my allies will turn domineering towards me and can break their alliances. I don't know what to do. This is very risky. If my ruler dies without a heir right now, I will be voted out of the emperorship. I don't know. I think I'm going to wait and see for a couple of years. Meanwhile, I will just try to work on dissolving this coalition which has formed against me. "73 years old and I still don't have a heir. Because I have so many diplomatic relationships, I'm hardly getting any diplomana. Let's focus on it for now. Wait a second. England is asking us to install a member of the ruling dynasty as our heir in exchange for favors. Do we accept? Of course we do. A heir to the throne, finally. Henry Tudor. You absolute babbling buffoon. Alright, we'll have to deal with that. And with our succession secured, people are voting for us again. Well done. A short while later, our emperor is dead, and because we are elected again, we get enough imperial authority to pass the second reform. England wants to fight who now? Some Irish miners and Brittany. Alright, I'm going to help them. "1473, and we can finally embrace Renaissance, which will keep us up to date with our technologies. Oh, come on, England, I've sieged the entire Brittany, and you give me nothing. It's that time again when we can fight France. Now, this time we have a lot of claims, as you can see, and I believe that for this war I'm going to choose this province down south. And here we go. In this war we should be able to dominate the map. I've realized that I didn't show you the absolute beast of the general whom I got from the Independence War event. And here he comes in all his glory. Philippe de Damas, 6433. This is the guy who can stack wipe sizable armies here in the mountains. The armies of the French alliance all but cease to exist. And we can start getting individual allies out of the war now. I've released my friend Little Saluzzo here because I can start entering Italy diplomatically to avoid the very high aggressive expansion of conquest in these areas. After a short while, Switzerland is also out of this war. After about 5 years of war, we can finally plan out our peace deal. This should be fine coalition-wise, but if I add Troyes, that probably means a coalition war. I'm taking a lot of lands here in the south for two main reasons. First, this area is quite far away from most of the HRE lands up north. And second, here I can release Gascony, which has a lot of cores on the remaining French and English lands, which means cheaper conquest in the future. The next obvious expansion area for me is down south here in Provence. I don't want Savoy or the Papal States to expand here. And these lands will be a rich addition to my control of the trade nodes down here in the south. I now have so many allies, I don't need all of them for my wars. For example, here, I'm not going to call in Spain. If they take any of these lands, they will not give the occupation over to me. Our friend Charles I of Burgundy has been peacefully living up here in Burgundy. No wars whatsoever, and he is slowly losing his subjects one after another, which is not good for us. A Tudor prince got it. Did England have... But wait, where are the Tudors? Out of all the subjects, Burgundy only got Brabant, so they lost Holland and everyone else. And yes, we are the ones who got the Burgundian inheritance. This outcome depends on RNG to some extent, because Burgundy after all has 3 options to choose from when Charles I dies. However, in the 3 test games I've done, including this recording, this outcome has always predictably happened. So I can assume that in your game, if you become the HRE controller, you will also get the Burgundian inheritance. Of course, in this Imperial incident, we want the outcome where we keep Burgundy as our junior partner, even if it means a war with France. I keep hoping to become the papal controller because I want that aggressive expansion reduction benefits which it brings. After signing separate peace deals with all the minor participants of this war and making sure not to take any land from them, we can now annex the southern part of Provence. The coalition is deepening, meaning the countries already in it are getting ever more unhappy with me, but it's not getting wider, so I'm fine with it. Despite all the power I have as the Holy Roman Emperor, there is no way I can make my former overlord Burgundy loyal. We just have too much bad blood between us. Stop, that's Kiss the Horse event. The way the Burgundian inheritance is scripted, in case you didn't know, is after they become your junior partner, there is one more hidden event remaining in the chain, and that is the death of Marie. You get all these lands integrated for free. There are only 2 conditions for this to happen. One is you need to be at peace, and 2, that needs to be within 40 years from inheritance. So we concentrate on core these lands. Being a Holy Roman Emperor, we are an empire, so we have enough governing capacity to do that. Now, the big question which I have for myself is whether I should attack England for my cores on the continent. They are very powerful now, and they will get ever more powerful as the time goes by. I do have enough alliances though to take them out. Maybe not now, however, I still value this alliance to help me prevent coalitions. In the second part of the video though, this could be my main opponent. Alright guys, I think I will stop the first part of this video here. In 43 years since the start of the campaign, we have become independent, we have defeated Burgundy, we have become the Holy Roman Emperor, which allowed us to get the Burgundian inheritance, we have defeated France in 2 wars, and we have also defeated Provence twice. We can take France out completely in the next couple of wars. And this will allow us to become them, to form France, the very thing we have been destroying for the last 30 years. This will give us access to France's very powerful mission tree, which has become very interesting in 1.35, and we will be truly unstoppable. Now, although I have almost 7,000 hours logged playing this game, I'm ashamed to admit, this is my very first video. So I would appreciate if you guys could leave a like, subscribe, and let me know what you think about this campaign in the comments. See you next time!